Happy Veterans Day! We want to welcome Round Lake students and the community.
Veterans Day celebrates the service of all military veterans in the United States.
We are a group of Round Lake High School students who wanted to celebrate Veterans Day in our community.
We asked the question, what does Veterans Day mean to you?
What Veteran Day means to me is just a reminder of a specific day to set aside time to remember the men and women who have sacrificed for our freedoms, whether that was a sacrifice of life or a limb or even just emotional battles that these individuals carry around every day. It's a reminder to keep these people and true heroes and warriors in our minds as people to respect and appreciate for the sacrifices that they have made.
Hello. I wanted to start by thanking all of the Round Lake High School students who are organizing the Veterans Project for Veterans Day. Veterans Day is definitely a time to show respect for and honor all of our nation's military veterans. I make it a point to thank the veterans that I know, the veterans that I work with, and also the veterans who are my family members for their service to our great nation. And lastly, I would just say that I'm lucky enough that for the past almost 10 years, I've been fortunate enough to volunteer with the Lake County Veterans History Project. And on Veterans Day, every year we have veterans from across Lake County come to the Lake County Courthouse, and my Marine Corps League serves them an outstanding breakfast. But then after that, there's a ceremony, and then the veterans are paired up with an interviewer and a court reporter. And their stories, their veterans' service to our country is recorded and then eventually transcribed and sent to the Library of Congress in Washington, D.C., where it will live on for generations and generations to come. And I love this project because the veterans really represent our country's living history, and we need to always remember their service and their sacrifice to our great country.
The Veteran Day is one of the most important things because I'm from Tennessee, and actually that's a volunteer state that actually supplied more people per capita than any state in the union. That's the reason they call it the volunteer state. And from there, I learned the love of country, people, and everyone. What I do, I love America with my heart. Every time I listen to music that reminds me of the military and everything, once you're in the military, you have more of a feeling for God and country itself, and also family. You have such a feeling that when they play music, you just about cry every time when it refers to the military, because you have such a feeling for our great country and how wonderful it is.
I was asked recently, what does Veterans Day mean to me? And to parse that out, I really have to think about what does it mean to be a veteran? So to me, a veteran is anyone that raised their right hand and took an oath to defend the Constitution from all enemies, foreign and domestic. And you have to parse that out and have to understand that that means that you have every aspect of your being, every part of your personality has become a tool for the United States of America to use to defend our country. Every bit of who you are. And that is a really serious understanding to recognize that you are now part of something that is greater than yourself. When I think of Veterans Day, though, I also have to think of how we got here. And I always think about the people that are currently serving, because as I record this in a beautiful classroom at Round Lake High School, there are soldiers right now somewhere on this planet, and they're got loaded weapons, and they're pulling a shift of guard duty. Those men and women are prepared to defend us. We have airmen who are frantically trying to reassemble an engine for a bomber or an air fighter so it can perform its mission. We have sailors that are hundreds of feet underwater and been gone for 5 months in an Ohio-class submarine. We're holding up the third leg of our nuclear triad. So we have to remember that all those men and women are out there, and they're out there today as we speak. I also have to look at Veterans Day in conjunction with the other 2 days we celebrate our veterans or our service members, Armed Forces Day and Memorial Day. On Armed Forces Day, we recognize those who are currently serving. But Memorial Day, we recognize those people who served and did not come home. And all the sacrifices made by those that we celebrate Memorial Day and for those that we celebrate on Veterans Day, they have over the last couple hundred years given us a nation that we should be proud of. But it's our obligation to those sacrifices, it's our debt to those men and women that we have this country, and we have to make sure the country perseveres and continues on and lives up to the ideals that they sacrificed for.
And the question asked of me is, what does Veterans Day mean to me? Veterans Day, to me, means that people are recognizing the sacrifices that you've made while serving your country. When you serve, you put others before yourself. There's a quote that I like that says, "For those who have served, freedom has a taste and a price the protected will never know." The reason Veterans Day means so much to me is that nobody's going to come up and ask you, did you miss the birth of your first daughter? Did you not get to hold her till she was 3 months old because you were overseas serving? My grandmother passed away. She was gone for 3 weeks before word got to me where I was at. Missed the first wedding anniversary. Spent Christmas 5,000 miles away in a country that doesn't celebrate Christmas. So there is a price for, even if you serve for one tour, you will miss things like that. Nobody aside from your close family will know that. And so Veterans Day is a collective way that our country, it's a federal holiday that everyone observes to say, hey, thank you for your service. And it means a lot to those who have served, or it does to me. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Merlin. Thank you, veterans.
Thank you, veterans, for protecting our country.
Thank you all veterans for serving this country.
Thank you for serving our country.
My dad was a veteran, and I thank him, and I thank all the veterans.
Thank you, veterans, from your service.
From Beach Elementary.